Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, a show where Baku and I will be talking about anime news, RPG news, niche news, whatever gets us excited and whatever fits. We'll be previewing some trailers, we'll be talking about some rumors, we'll be answering questions and comments from super chats at the end of the episode. Normally we stream every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Baku-san JRPG, how are you doing this fine Sunday evening?
Oh boy, I am doing fantastic. And also, we're celebrating Lunar New Year here. So happy Lunar New Year's, everybody. Yeah, just had a family dinner with my family yesterday and saw my nephews. And I was called a sussy baka by one of them. And I am very oddly proud that one of my nephews, he's like 7, just like, you're a sussy baka. I'm like, oh my god, you know what that is? You know about the sussy baka? Kids these days, man, they're just
so Baku, I mean, I obviously know what that means, but for anybody at home who doesn't, what does sussy baka mean, huh?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Is it kind of like yeet at this point? Like it's just one of the
I have not caught up with like the internet lingo, even if I really should. But I think the thing is, like, I know where this all like sus and baka comes from, but putting it together and then sort of like how that sort of changed over time, I haven't kept up. Yeah, I know it's from Among Us. Baka is obviously just like calling someone stupid in Japanese, so but whatever. Like I think it came from like an Among Us stream, and then before you know it became a thing. But whatever.
Saying okay, so it started with like, oh yeah, they're sus, and then I don't know, they're kind of sussy, and now it's sussy baka. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Well, hey, I am old, so I'm allowed to not be in on the new Gen Y lingo or whatever they are called.
I don't even know.
Gen Z. Is it Z? Zoomer lingo?
So my nephews at this point, they are Gen Alpha, I've been told. Like
what?
Like,
I don't know about that.
Gen Z are like the
how about Gen Omega?
Teens to 20s right now. And
how about Gen Omega, because after them the world's just gonna end.
Well,
anyways, so guys, it is a pleasure to see you all this evening. I hope you're all having a great day so far. Yeah, Baku, what have you been up to this week?
Well, other than celebrating Lunar New Year, not a whole lot. Work's been kind of crazy, so I've been taking some time off from stream just to get my mental faculty back together. Work's been crazy, but I am glad that things are starting to look up a little bit. Otherwise, I am currently just loving Ida Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative. It's been a lot of fun. I need to get back to play more of it. You guys can come and hang out over at twitch.tv/BakusanJRPG. Link down below later on. If you want to come and hang out and do some murder mystery, sci-fi murder mystery. A lot of fun. Yeah. What about you, man? What have you been up to?
Oh man, like you said, this has been a completely crazy week for me. It has just been one thing after another. So first of all, at the start of last episode, we launched the start of the pre-sale for the SuperDerek hoodie, which I'm wearing right now. It's excellent, super comfortable. That is going for a week, or rather it was going for a week, and it ends today. So today, if you want this SuperDerek hoodie, it ends at midnight. So get on that if you want one.
It's and the t-shirt or just the sweater?
Both of them are going to be this pre-sale only. So now, if you want, you can still get the Hype Responsibly t-shirt afterwards. That's not going anywhere. That's going to be a main staple, but this is just sort of a special kind of small run. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Links to that will be in the description. And in order to help sort of like push that to kind of get more eyes on it, I put out a video this week talking about my top 10 boss battles within Earthbound. And
Right.
that came out like a wet fart. It did so poorly. It might be
Mhm.
one of my least viewed videos on all of YouTube today. And it,
Period.
yeah, one of the lowest views. I don't know if it's just because YouTube's just like, you haven't put out a video in a while, so I think we're just gonna have to let this one slide, you know. So if you
Mm.
haven't seen that, and if that sounds like a video subject that you might be interested in, please be sure to add it to your watch later list or watch now. But anyways, that was all, you know. It had the ad integration for the hoodie, and I was like, well, that didn't do so well. Well, crap, I'm gonna need to put out another video that I can talk about with, because I want to sell these. I want people to know that they exist before they're gone for good. Otherwise, somebody's gonna see it in like 2 months and be like, oh man, I never saw this video. I missed my shot. You know, I
I'm
don't.
surprised you're only doing it for 1 week. That is a really short window. I thought you were going to do for like a month or something.
Nope, 1 week only.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, because it's what they have available with the shop that I'm
Ah.
going through.
Mhm.
So this is kind of working into their schedule, because
Okay.
they're doing me a favor.
No,
So
no, no.
that's
Makes sense.
so that's part
Makes sense.
of
Makes
this
sense.
whole thing. So
Mhm.
so anyways, so I put out another video talking about this news that we'll talk about, you and I talking about Sony and their new webpage that tries to define what a JRPG is.
Yes.
And yeah, we're gonna take a look at that as well, because
Mhm.
there's some controversy, you know. I'll say.
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Let's do that.
it's been all of that, and like the stress of like, oh man, I want this hoodie to sell well, because I want this to do well. It's a big project. They did the design. I want this to be like worth their while and their time to do these things. And so it's like there's a lot riding on that, and so I'm stressed from that. And then all of a sudden, I get an email from somebody who's like, "Hey, we want to do a sponsored video with you real quick." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I can do that." And they're like, "Cool. So I want here's some stuff that we're gonna do. I need you to send it to us for approval and everything. And it has to come out on Monday."
Oh, jeez.
Like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. So I've got a video coming out on Monday. I've gone through all the rigmarole. It was a lot of stress. And then in the midst of all of this, Baku, what do you think is our most viewed video right now? You
On
and
your.
mine. Yeah, you and
Oh.
me.
Huh. I don't know.
You don't know. Yeah.
I think they're all pretty good. So.
Yeah, they're all pretty good. You know, they're all, about, 4 or 5 thousand views or so.
Mhm.
We got one that's about like 85,000 views right now.
What? Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I
Okay,
thought it was
and which one is that?
it's the Tokyo Game Show Roundup. It is our longest video by far. It's almost 4 hours long. It has
Wow. Okay,
it
we did
has
a 4 hour show one time.
Do you not remember this? The
I
TGS Roundup.
remember it. I just didn't.
We were kind of delirious at the time. I wouldn't hold it against you for not knowing. It was
Wow.
this
Okay.
was the stream following when my computer crashed for a while, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So anyways, this video has been blowing the heck up. I have no idea why, and I'm stressed about it because I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. If for whatever reason, like
Mhm.
YouTube might think that it's getting view botted or something, they could shut down the AdSense account attached to my YouTube channel forever. Like,
That's crazy.
I
Like, are
know.
they
That's why
punishing us for a video being popular beyond our control? Like, what?
I don't know. I mean, so that happened to some YouTube channels way back in the day though. So I don't know if that's actually the case, but anyways, I was like, hang on, I got to look into this cuz I don't want this to happen to my channel. So I contact YouTube channel support and we go through chat and they look in the back end and they said, "We have no control over what causes videos to get views, just a
Yeah.
FYI, and as far as we can tell, it looks legit." So
Okay.
I don't
Well.
know if somehow we're just like my current working hypothesis for this is that people are watching some gaming related video, falling asleep, and then auto recommend takes them to our video, and they watch the whole thing. And I'm wondering if we're just like in this spiral of like getting weird random viewers of this thing. They're just like sleeping through because the retention rate is bizarre. There's no comments. There's barely any comments coming through.
Uh,
I'm just scratching my head trying to figure out what the heck is happening here, afraid that like someone's trying to take my channel down through some weird nefarious means. And anyways, that's
You know
just
what
been
I'm
a
gonna do
really
now?
it's just been a
I'm
very
gonna
stressful
go.
week.
I'm gonna go and watch that episode later
And
and try to see what's in it and what are the like different
oh my
meta,
gosh.
or I don't know. There's so many reasons that could be. I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna
I
investigate.
Please do. It will
Yeah.
take 4 hours though. Again, it is
Well,
4
I'm not gonna watch
hours.
the whole thing. I'm just gonna. I mean,
Yeah,
I
who would
don't
watch the
think.
whole thing?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything in particular that we're doing in the show that's causing the spike. I think it's probably some kind of metadata that's getting people to come at all. So yeah, I'll take a look at it
It's none
later.
of the metadata I have any control over because it
Mhm.
doesn't even have like tags that I assigned. It has just like some automatic like JRPG podcast tag. It's like that's it. So you can look if you want.
Hmm.
I would be if we can figure out what the heck is going on so I can replicate this success.
Mhm.
Let's figure it out because this is nice.
Is it okay? So you know what would be helpful if
What's
I
that?
know when it spiked up? Was it like a continuous like
It's
up
like
and
been
up,
within
or like did it spike up suddenly?
like in the last 4 days.
In the last 4 days, it just
I
spiked
mean,
up.
it's been kind of gradually, but in the last 4 days, it's gone parabolic.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's YouTube's weird.
YouTube is weird. And that's what all of my YouTube friends have been saying when I've been like, guys, I'm stressed about this. They're like, YouTube algorithm just gonna do what it do. Don't just if they say it's legitimate, just don't worry about it. And that's my plan. I'm just gonna say, okay, fine.
I've
That's
tested that out. I put out a couple shorts on YouTube, when
mhm,
I did make
yeah.
shorts and TikTok, and it'll be the exact same short with the exact same tags and the exact same titles. And one would do amazing on one and not the other, and they're never the same. It's so bizarre. But it's just that there's no way to predict like what would make sense. But
Yeah.
it's a
And and
weird
so
thing.
and so here all this time I'm like thinking it's really great that this video is taking off. Why couldn't it have been my Earthbound boss fights one? Like the one that is promoting the sale of the
Are
hoodie
you
that ends
sure it's not
tonight.
just like the word Tokyo is like getting searched up a lot because
It's
Japan opened up?
it's TGS. I don't even have Tokyo in the
Oh, you
title.
don't even have the word Tokyo. Okay,
It's called TGS Roundup. Like what even?
okay, now I need to go and look. Well,
I know.
yeah, and I'll encourage everyone to look at it later and give us some
Oh sure.
feedbacks. Like
Everybody go watch it right now. Get just
not right now,
okay, fine. After
but late
today's episode,
after
sure.
this episode. Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, that's been my week. It's been stressful. It would make my life so nice to see this video continue to do well, but I really wish I knew why.
Yeah.
Just that's all I ask. Anyways, let's go ahead and move along and get into the real meat of the show, which is responding to some of the comments that we got in the last episode. So
Yes.
I'll go ahead and start with this one here. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so this one comes from X, who
Mm-hmm.
says,
X.
who says, by the way, is this the child of Musk that's doing this? Anyways,
What?
isn't that the name of one of his kids is X? Anyways,
I have
uh,
no idea.
do you guys know if there's any places in the U.S. where you can pre-order the Ren figure from
Yeah, yes.
Trails? Yeah,
Yes. So I did respond to that. I did respond to X. If you're listening right now, or you will be listening later, I definitely did respond to you. But for anyone who may be interested in placing the Ren figure, first of all, Ami does ship to the States, so you could just go for them, and they are 100% legit. They are about as legit as it gets when it comes to ordering figures. But if you have to find someone in the States, like a US importer, for whatever reason, you can always go to Big Bad Toys. I've ordered from them,
mhm.
and they're also legit. So and they are in fact taking pre-orders right now. So I've added the link in that particular question from the last video. So anyone wants to take a look. Or you could just go
Yeah.
to Big Bad Toys. Like you could just go there.
I mean, or you could just give that other video another view if you want to. I guess they're just coming in all over the place these days.
Hashtag not sponsored by Big Bag Toys, but hashtag can totally be sponsored by Big Bag Toys.
Call us.
Talk to us.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got a comment from some random guy who says, so I don't know if this has been brought up on any of the previous podcasts, but I'm just going to put this out there as kind of a PSA for anyone who cares. A new patch for Trails from Zero is available now on Switch and PS4. It released on PC a few weeks ago. Yep. And Nisa put in a really nice memorial for Scott, aka Kill Scott Kill, from the Geofront in the form of a chest message. So people can go read that now if they wish. The only thing that I want to know, some random guy, is which chest. Because there are probably a whole bunch of them.
That could be spoilery territory, but just suffice it to say, it's at the top of a tower that occurs in the middle of the game.
So, it's in the middle of the game. Okay, I think that's at least people would know that. Yeah, there's a lot of chests for them to look through.
There is, and there is one that is just like front and center at the top of this awesome tower. And it's a really nice spot, you know. Not a bad little way to commemorate and celebrate his life and his work. So that's super cool.
All right, what is it called? Credit where credit's due. You can get mad at Nisa, but this,
that's really
credit where credit's due. Yeah.
So we got another one here from Seth Hale who says, Baku talking about wanting more Estelle when I'm a massive Kevin fan over here, just waiting. He says, I love Estelle, but prefer Onion. Yeah, we all love Onion Graham. Also,
Onion Graham.
Also, good luck on getting through Cold Steel 4 in time, Derek. I almost hit the Trails burnout the last time on the last one myself. I was basically marathoning them though, so
jeez,
I can't imagine that. I have a hard and fast rule preventing burnout, and that is just no matter how much I want to just marathon, I will not do it. I alternate my way through. He also goes on to say, someone could have just stated and had a baby in the time it took me to get through it. I did also get super busy during that time, I guess. It's just exciting for the journey. Yeah, it's a big, long series of games, and we are, I think, right now, like 20 hours through Cold Steel 2, which is shaping up to be really nice. No, we're well through the prologue. I think we're getting into part 2 here pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
So, yeah, cool stuff so far.
Well, I am still waiting to get into Trails from Zero.
You should.
At some point, at some point it will happen.
You know, and I've said it in the last episode. If you want more Estelle and Joshua, you got to get through Zero, dude. It does continue on a little bit, at least. So
are we saying if I start Zero, you'll start Yakuza Like a Dragon? Was that the deal?
I'm already planning on playing it next. I'm already making that plan. I got it.
I don't know if I can do next.
Baku.
I think next for me.
Everybody,
One
shame
Piece.
Baku on Twitter for failing to uphold his bargain.
But One Piece Odyssey, like, we need to know if it's any good. Like, I need it. We need to know.
Well, I would tell you, except I'm obligated to play Yakuza Zero, Bakuza Zero because of you shaming me on Twitter. You know how the turntables. Okay.
Feel free to shame me on Twitter. I can take it.
Link in the description. By the way, everybody,
yes.
Another huge thank you for the continued support of Freddie Ken, who has been continuing to provide us with timestamps the following day, every like clockwork. It's incredibly helpful. Thank you so much, Freddie. You are
thank you, sir.
The MVP, dude.
The MVP.
Aside from Baku. Y'all are saving my life.
I'll give it to Freddie. I will give Freddie the MVP as long as he stopped messing with my PC. He's just constantly crashing my PC. It's an in joke in my channel, but yeah, just stop it.
Right. Well, we also have a voicemail that I should be playing here pretty soon, shouldn't I?
Anytime. Anytime
Hey,
you're
this
ready.
is Cody calling from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I have a question for Baku and Derek. I know you guys are mainly JRPG enthusiasts, but I was wondering if there was any more classic computer RPGs that you all have kind of gotten involved in. And a quick
Huh.
second question for Derek. I saw between the intro and previous things I've seen on the podcast, you seem to have a genuine enthusiasm for third wave ska. Can you just talk about that a little bit? That'd be great. Hey, you all keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you, Cody. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for calling us. Computer RPG, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Computer. How do we define computer RPG? Because we're
Well, the way that I would
aren't there JRPGs on computer? Does that not count? Like, what is
so
the computer RPG?
I mean, technically, computer RPG. If we want to go really specific here,
Mm-hmm.
or really pedantic, is
Mm-hmm.
basically the what it conveys to me when we say the phrase CRPG or computer
Mm-hmm.
RPG is talking about the early attempts to translate the tabletop role-playing game genre into a computer form. And some
Mm-hmm.
of those took place in the form of like Wizardry and Ultima. And
Mm-hmm.
then those went on to inspire like Yuji Horii to make Dragon Quest over in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then so there are a lot of CRPGs, but I guess that the style has kind of gone on to evolve into its own thing, like the point and click style RPGs. I think is usually
Mm-hmm.
what people think of. Things like Fallout, things like
Mm-hmm.
Wasteland, Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
The Warcraft games. I think maybe not Warcraft. I think that might be more RTS. I'm not positive on that one, but
Yeah,
um,
I wouldn't call that RPG at that
no,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there are some gosh, like Pathfinder I think has a few really big ones, like Baldur's Gate. Those are,
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Oh yeah.
CRPGs. What was the Disco
There's that.
Elysium? Disco
Mm-hmm.
Elysium is a really modern example of CRPGs. But
Mm-hmm.
with like the broadest definition of CRPGs, basically every RPG on a computer or console could hypothetically be called a CRPG. But
Mm-hmm.
in the spirit of the question, I think that they're referring to CRPGs, like the ones that I've said. Um, and the ones that I've been most interested in at the moment have been the Fallout ones. Disco Elysium's been looking really good. I want
Mm-hmm.
to take a look. A lot of people have been saying that I should check out Baldur's Gate, the new one, the new Baldur's
Mm-hmm.
Gate, or was it Divinity Original Sin? People people have been making all kinds of recommendations to me that have been sounding really good, because I keep talking about how, like, oh, I want these tactical RPGs but with like a world exploration mechanic, and they're like, oh
Right.
yeah, this is what you need. And I'm
Right,
pretty
right,
sure
right,
it's
right, right.
Pillars of Eternity. I think maybe that was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, there's so many that have been told that I need to play, but I haven't actually dove into any of them because that's just how I roll. um
Boy, it's just like it's like what I was saying before. It's like it's not that I don't like the recommendations, but it's just like imagine if people just recommend books to you and they're just like, oh yeah, this is a classic, you've got to play it, or like, oh, this is like a New York Times bestseller, this is great, you have to read it. And
I
then you're
know.
just like, okay, there are enough books right now that I would not be able to complete this in my full lifetime. Maybe even 3, 4, 5 lifetimes, I won't finish it. So I really gotta pick and choose. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not so drastic for games, especially for RPGs, but it's still like it is hard.
Oh yeah.
So I want to just say it now that if I don't play a game from one of y'all recommendations, it's not because I don't respect you or that I don't think your recommendation is good. It's more like I just have competing games for that time
Yeah,
slot and I
it's
have
very
limited
true.
time.
And the
That's
only
all it
way
is. Yeah.
and the only way Baku and I maintain any semblance of sanity is that we get to choose what we play when we want to play
That's
them.
about the only choice I get to have
Hmm.
nowadays.
I know.
You
Now,
know?
I will say I did also go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and I found some
Mhm.
CRPGs that I was really kind of I really enjoyed playing a little bit of. I never got very far in any of them, but it was for a video series that I put together for Bitmap Books. They have a
Mhm.
book called the CRPG book, and it's a really awesome tome of RPG knowledge. Not sponsored, not anymore anyway, but you can check them out if you want to. I recommend it. They have incredible hardback books. They also did the guide to Japanese RPGs, and I made a series of a video of a series for them talking about the Quest for Glory series, which is made by Sierra, which is kind of like King's Quest except with more RPG elements, and it was very interesting, and yeah, I would check out those if I were you. I think there's a lot there if you have a computer that can play them, because they're kind of older and sequestered to
going to DOS,
older
like
yeah. Well, not
the only way to launch the game is through DOS.
Some of them are on DOS, some of them are Amiga, some of them are like Windows XP exclusive. So yeah, it can be kind of tricky to play them some days these days, but I think Good Old Games has most of them easily accessible.
Nice. Well, back to answering Cody's question anyways, and you tell me if this one counts, because I'm not exactly well versed in CRPG, but I think I haven't played that many RPGs on PC even now. Like, I have a gaming PC fully capable, still don't do a lot of gaming on it.
The irony, right?
Yeah, I know. But when I did play games on PC, and the one that really sticks out to me that I could probably relate to all this, in the spirit of that question, would be probably like Heroes of Might and Magic. I think probably that one.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. I don't know if it counts, but I like the overworld tactical kind of like grand, well, I don't know if I want to call it grand strategy, but like, there's an overworld, and then once you like do like an enemy encounter, it turns into this kind of like kind of a tactical RPG game, and it's a lot of fun.
It sounds like it counts. I think I've heard of them before. We'll say it counts. Sure.
Yeah, so that's probably the only one that really stay. Other times I play a lot of RTS, and we've established that they don't necessarily count. So as far as like leveling is concerned, as far as like RPG is concerned, I think that's probably the one game that I've really played, sunk a good amount of time on back in the day. I forgot which one I played. I think it was like Might and Magic 3 was the one that I sunk a lot of time in. Like, I mean, hours and hours and hours, but that was the good old days.
Yeah. Now there was a part 2 to that question asking about my love for ska punk, for third wave ska specifically, and
yes,
yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm So I didn't really fall in love with ska until I was introduced to The Real Big Fish by a coworker when I was it was maybe like 2005, well after the end of like the summer of ska,
the summer of ska.
That one blip in time when ska punk was actually like really popular, and that like Real Big Fish was on the radio, and so were the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Tony Hawk Pro Skaters the video games were coming out, and everybody was listening to Goldfinger and jamming along to Superman. So yeah, I got really into ska punk a little after its time, and kind of like with a lot of things, I guess. And I don't know why it just appeals to me so much, but it does. And so when it came time to make a theme song for our show, there was a podcast I used to listen to a long time ago, about the time that I was introduced to ska punk, and I was introduced to it by the same friend who introduced me to ska punk in general. By the way, it was the Adam Carolla podcast. I don't even know if that's still ongoing, but they would start off each episode with some part of the song "The Rascal King" by the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and I was like, if I'm going to do a podcast, I want to do something kind of similar-ish, but I want it to be mine. So we used my theme song and adapted it, and I just like ska punk. It's so upbeat and it lifts me up every day. I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know too much about ska. I have from all the stuff I've heard, I've liked, but I never like dive into. I'm not like a huge music person. I don't know all the different stuff. But there's this one band that I remember listening to, and I'm pretty sure they play ska because it's in their name, and that's the Tokyo Ska Paradise.
Have you Are you looking
That's
for
the
other Japanese ska punk bands? Because there's also Ottawa Ska Band.
no,
You
but
should check 'em
no,
out.
no, I've heard their stuff too.
Okay,
But no,
yeah.
not looking for recommendations. But if you have recommendations for me, I can always put them on as I do work. Way easier for me to listen to song recommendations, than to play a recommended game, right?
Yeah.
They're not the same animal. But yeah, no, feel free to shoot recommendations away. But not necessarily researching right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry for taking so long to get into the meat of the show, guys. But I think it's time we move along into.
So are we saying we just got through like the bun? Is that it?
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is now time. It is now time for the game delays.
Yes, the arugula of our hit point burger.
Oh no.
It's bitter. We don't want it, but it's necessary. So
Oh
let's
my
talk
God, that
about
is
it.
perfect, actually.
So we've got one delay that is notable that we do want to talk about. Gus
Mhm.
has released a statement on Twitter that Atlier Ryza 3 will be delayed by exactly a month from February 24th to March 24th of this year. The reason is that they just want some time to fine-tune things and to further polish the game. So, no blame. As per usual, from our standpoint, is feel free to do delays as long as you ship a complete and polished product.
Yes.
You
That
know,
is first and foremost. That's all that matters. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as the game is fun, if it's behind, it just gives me more time to tackle my backlog. Like,
I mean,
like
yeah,
the other
like
two Atelier Ryza games.
Did you hear that, Square Enix? Feel free to delay games.
Yeah, please. My God.
And give us finished products, like polished products, because I think from a lot of people come to our stream. I think Derek, you probably more so than me, where they would be like, "Oh, what do you think of this game? What do you think of that game?" And I want to be able to go like, oh yeah, this game is great without any like caveat, or like this game kind of meh without any caveat. I don't want to go like, oh, but they had this issue with the publishing and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but that's not my problem as a consumer. Like, you
Yeah.
released it, I expect it to be 100%,
Mhm.
right? Like, no excuse, right? I don't
Yeah.
want to have to be nice about it, right? So take your time, because
Yeah.
once it's out, it's gonna get like
It's open season.
yeah, it's open season, so take your
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because,
Oh, right. No.
I mean, yeah. Let's go ahead and move along to the next section, because I was going to go down a whole other rabbit hole, but I'd rather just talk about some updates to past releases.
Yes.
Starting with Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, because Nisa have just announced that the Steam version of Ys 8 will get
Mhm.
Adol's silver armor and adventure clothes and costumes for free. So that's pretty cool.
Yay.
Free
Free
DLC.
stuff. Mhm.
It's just cosmetics, but hey, that's cool.
Are we really gonna say no to free stuff though? I mean,
No, I'll take
yeah,
it.
yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. I do want to add a note that yes, these are already included in the PlayStation 5 release that's coming out in February, so you're not missing out at all.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just
So
that
it's just
they're
bringing it
adding
one
it.
to one.
Yeah, they're just adding it to the PC version. There are still DLCs that would be included in the PS5 version that's not included in the PC for free anyway. So, but that's just one extra thing that they're giving out for free. So,
So
hey, again,
is that just the Steam version, or is it also like the GOG version, or do we know?
all I've been told is the Steam version. So it
Okay.
might have to do with like a DLC package on Steam. I don't know about GOG or any other platforms.
I wouldn't be surprised if it makes its way to other places, but
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, so don't quote us on
Yeah.
that. But maybe
Yeah.
check it out. Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, the only thing I would say quote is Steam, because that's the news that we got
for sure on
So,
Steam, for sure.
yeah, for sure on Steam, maybe other places. Okay. Next up, we've got some updates for Swords Online, Alicization, Lycoris. Bandai Namco released the Blooming of Forget Me Not expansion DLC on Switch on the 19th. This expansion will contain new story, maps, dungeons, weapons, and more. So definitely check that out if you are a fan of the game series. Which, by the way, like I thought it was just gonna be like a onesie twosie tie-in. No, this thing is turning into like a series of
Wow.
games. Like I think now they're like 5 games in.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty wild.
It's just, you know, so
I didn't expect SAO to have the staying power that it has over the years. It's been like
yeah.
10 years in the public consciousness, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, probably more than that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
We're
you might
getting
be
old.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but this series got, you know, I mean, and I don't mean the anime series or the Night Lava series, but the game series. Obviously, there's enough demand for Bandai Namco to keep releasing them. Like, they're not stupid. They're not going to keep releasing games that no one's buying. So some people are definitely buying it.
Yeah. And maybe
Yeah.
they must be good if people are buying them still.
And we're going to talk about the next game.
I don't know why
on
I haven't been playing them. Honestly, I liked the original season of the anime, but
You should check it out. We're going to talk about the newest game they're going to announce later on in the later section. But now let's talk to you about the next update.
Yeah, because we're still talking about DLC. So this one's about Monster Hunter Rise. Capcom have released Monster Hunter Rise for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S on the 20th of this month here. So cool. Also, the Sunbreak expansion will launch on PlayStation and Xbox sometime in spring of this year. So
that's right.
Keep your ears and eyes open for that for when we tell you when that'll be for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, for anyone who does not know, is out on Switch and PC. But you know, that got released, and then the new expansion's coming, so hopefully there'll be more ways to play the game. This one is actually a pretty popular version of Monster Hunter. A lot of people playing it. I thought it wouldn't do as well after like Monster Hunter World.
Right? I know. I thought World was going to be. I was like, wow, World did really well. It's going to be
like the peak, right? And then it's going to like dip down a bit. Like, the next game is not going to do so well. It's like, no, Monster Hunter Rise is doing really well.
Everything there's got to be peaks and troughs, but this is just peaks. What's oops, all peaks.
Yeah, it's peaks and peaks. Like Capcom is just killing it with Monster Hunter. Like, let's not pretend that that's not a popular franchise. Yeah.
It's so sad that it's not Breath of Fire.
No, you know what? Here's the thing. Don't be sad, because that money is going into a working capital.
That is true.
For the company that has the IP for Breath of Fire. So if they have more cash in reserve, they might be willing to take some chances, right?
Yeah.
Versus if they don't have money in reserve.
I still have hope, guys. It'll happen someday. Maybe.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Gotta stay positive. And
I'm telling you, they included that game on that survey not by mistake. They could have easily not include that, right? Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember this survey from Capcom some time back, right? They included that game specifically. Like I refuse to believe that was a mistake.
It was the odd one out. Like like they definitely dug like. I wouldn't have been any more surprised if I had seen like Sweet Home in there as like
right.
Like what?
Yeah,
really?
They could have put anything in there, right? Oh, they could have just left it out completely. But no, it was a deliberate ask. Do you want this? And I think we, from the people I've talked to, anyways, I think we've spoken loud and clear that that's something we are interested in.
I'm very soft spoken, but when it came to Breath of Fire, I got loud. So we also got some more upcoming releases here.
Yes,
coming
let's talk about it.
Let's see. Did I already switch sections?
Did you?
I think I did. Yes.
All right. So we got some upcoming release. Starting off with the newest entry to the Neptunia series, Sisters vs. Sisters. That's coming out on the 24th on PS4, PS5, PC via Steam. Let's take a look at trailers so that we can kind of refresh ourselves what we're talking about here.
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
Yes.
Because you are a Neptune fan, aren't you?
I am. Neptunia is definitely my guilty pleasure. It is not a very sophisticated RPG by any stretch. And the jokes do get kind of stale over time, but it's a bunch of cute girls fighting enemies. So yeah, like okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of got that meta aspect where they are in the world of game industry, and
yes,
is that
there's a
there's
lot
Sony?
of memes.
There's Sony,
This is
right?
Sony, yeah.
Or
This
what's
is
her actual name?
This is Uni. This is supposed to be PSP.
Oh, okay.
So like
she's
all the so these are like the
Ram and Rom.
sisters, like
Okay.
these are the little sisters. These represent like the handheld like consoles.
Oh, okay.
So Rem and Rom actually is the DS because it's dual screen.
Oh, okay.
So there are two of them. And you'll notice that like Microsoft doesn't have any representative because Microsoft never made a handheld.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Netgear is Game Gear.
Oh, so Henri is Apple hating something.
Uni is supposed to be the PSP. So this is the PSP. And then there are two girls from Nintendo, basically, but it's a dual screen, so they're twins.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun.
Is there a reason that these are all referring to old handheld consoles?
These characters are not new, so
okay.
Yeah. These characters are not exactly new. It's just a new game that features them, but this is not exactly like they're new characters, if you will. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And I wonder if there's going to be a Switch character in it who like I don't know what they would do. Would they like switch forms?
That's a good question. I wonder when they're going to release like new characters for each of the, nations, if you will. There are 4 nations, and they presume that Sega continues to be like a player. Otherwise, they would only be 3. Yeah. So
yeah, that would be kind of funny if like they just started making up like a new Dreamcast console or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I am. No, there is a Dreamcast. There is one. There was one.
I know. But I'm saying a new Dreamcast because like.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, yeah. that would be a wild way to announce a new console.
From Sega. It's like, oh, by the way,
we're back
in it.
Yep. So that's pretty cool, and that's coming out on the 24th here in just a couple days.
That's right.
Keep your eyes open. How are you feeling about that one, Baku? Are you excited at all? I know, like you're a Neptunia fan, a Nep person, if you will.
Right.
So,
I am not all too excited because it feels like this is kind of a rehash of the story from the second game again. Like the basis of the game is about the same. Like the goddess candidate went missing, so the little sister go looking for them, and then they get trapped in something. They wake up to a weird world. It's like that's just the second game. Like the second game had that premise. Okay. Now it's gonna, from what I've seen, it should play out differently, right? Like the enemies are different. Like the reason why all this happens is different. The story's a little different, but it's just like it's maybe a little too much.
It looks like it's gonna have like some different maybe mechanics involved because like there's gonna be other characters you link up for like bonus changes and stuff, as I understand it, and it sounds kind of interesting.
What I'm most interested in, honestly, is Compound Heart trying to be more diverse in their RPG battle mechanics. Like they're really doing a lot of experimental things. Like one of the game had like almost like a 3-dimensional grid that you like fighting plane, right? It's like called Dragon Veneer, I think. And then another one had like someone who worked on was a Corpse Party write their story for them. So that was bad in request. So they're testing a lot of different things, and I'm kind of rooting for them. Like, yes, it's a lot of fan service, more than I'd like to see, really, but at least they're trying all kinds of different things from a studio-backed product and not necessarily just indie. Yeah. So I do encourage that at least. So hopefully they'll do something different for this game and more than what I am thinking about.
All right.
Yeah.
So the next update for everybody is a game that's actually already out, but we're getting the physical releases finally after a very long wait. The physical editions of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising will be available on the 26th, very soon. If you're a collector of physical copies, now is the time to pre-order them from Red Art Games using the link in the video's description to support the show, as well as to make sure you get your hands on a copy of the physical release of the soundtrack. So that only happens if you pre-order directly through Red Art Games. So make sure you do that. And, you know, it supports the show as well. So cool.
Thank you so much, guys. All right. Next, we've got a ultra adorable Metroidvania that we've talked about before called Alice Escaped, and that's coming to Steam on the 27th. Just a refresher, player will be switching between two characters, Usada and Kotora, who excels in physical and range combat respectively. They'll be fighting some pretty kooky enemies, and they are in search for a girl named Alice. So maybe we can just take a quick look at this trailer just to refresh our memories on what that is.
All right, yeah, it has been a minute, so.
And the trailer is literally a minute long. But
oh my goodness,
yeah,
that is a
super cute game.
It's a cute beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was kind of like I remember this one kind of gave me vibes of that side-scrolling shooter, run and gun.
Toho?
No. The run and gun. Cuphead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a cute head.
Yeah, so this is a Metroidvania, which means that it's going to be like one continuous
that's right,
kind of world, like with different layers. But yeah, like, so, and one of the key points to this game is you do have to switch off between the two characters as you're fighting bosses. So one of them do really well with physical combat, like the one that you're seeing with the hammer does really well the physical combat. The other one has like a machine gun, so obviously she does range combat. So as you're fighting the boss, you have to constantly switch back and forth between the two characters in order to like do maximum combo. So yeah, so I think it's pretty fun. There's another game that has this kind of concept where you switch between two characters on a Metroidvania, and I forgot what that game is called, but we did talk about that one too. So definitely don't mistake the two. Yeah,
I think I remember we were talking about that one. I don't remember the name of it, but it was because they were experiencing like two different realities, and you had to switch between the realities.
Oh
right?
no, that's a yet another game. That one, I don't think that one's a Metroidvania. That one's like a puzzle game where. Okay. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I think that one's called Boku no or something. Boku no, where like you have two people who will play the game at the same time. They'll co-op, but you see two different realities. And the only way you can communicate that is by words. So I can tell you like, oh, I'm seeing this and seeing that, and then we have to like work together to solve this thing, but we don't see the same thing. So I think that was a really cool concept. But no, that one's not a Metroidvania, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's what it gave me reminders of, but yeah, this one's definitely going to be a little bit different. For sure.
Absolutely.
All right. So when is that one coming out? You said
this one is coming out on the 27th. Yeah, so in a couple of days.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to this next one, which for a moment I thought might have been the headline of the day. So I'll go ahead and I'll read out the headline that I had written just because I think it was just a little too good to let it go entirely.
Yeah.
We'll call it Forspoken's Flop, Disappointing Demo, Review Code Concealment. Salacious. Square Enix's first AAA title of 2023, Forspoken, is right around the corner, and there's a few things to go over, and I think one of those can just be reviewing this, not reviewing, but reviewing this trailer. Let's take a look at what it has in store for us, because it has been a moment.
Yeah, this is just a quick, like 30 seconds refresher. It's pretty. This is like a TV ad deal, I think.
Yeah.
This 30 seconds, this is a TV ad.
Yeah. This is a
TV ad.
Yep.
But it's okay.
Oh, yeah, they have
does
quotes,
the job.
A solid, expansive combat system.
Absolute blast.
Yeah.
It does the job for us to get us to talk about this thing.
The real question I have for it. Okay, hold on. Let me rewatch this trailer one more time. Nope, that's not it.
Are you watching the right one?
Nope. Let's rewatch this again because it auto moved over. Here,
Okay.
can you pause it for me when one of those quotes is on the screen?
Yeah. You mean
There we
this?
go. Yeah, that perfect. Oh, okay. So look at this: Distractify, PlayStation lifestyle, RPG fan says it's fun in quotes. I'm gonna have to ask Scott if he got a copy, a review code for this because
Oh my
maybe
god.
because I wonder if they're just taking fun out of context here and just saying, "Oh, this game looks fun," or something like that. Like, did Scott actually get a chance to play? Can you
No,
can you
Scott.
DM?
No, Scott. Well, because Scott told me about this. So Scott had gone to a private Square Enix event in New York,
Oh,
and he's had a chance to not just play the demo,
mhm.
but play through some chapters. He can't talk about
Okay,
anything specific, but
sure.
he just
He's
said
under
that
embargo.
he just said he had fun, like,
Okay,
and it was good, and people should look forward to it, and that's
okay,
it,
okay.
and
So here's the
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
So the demo came out, and it sounds like it hasn't been particularly well received so far. So I'm guessing Scott had a different experience.
I can't get over that it says RPG fan. It's just the word fun. Like,
Yeah.
it's just fun with it's especially funny because it's like it's fun.
In
It's like a
quotes.
quote. It's like it's
Endearing.
fun. It's endearing.
This game is beautiful. I know. The quotes really don't they don't help. Oh.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so continuing on. So this game looks fun, but
Yeah.
the response to the demo hasn't been super great. Square Enix released a patch for the demo. Changes included the ability to remap some buttons, larger fonts at some places, enemies staying locked onto, various other bug fixes. You can now try the demo out on PlayStation 5 if you would like.
Okay, can I just say something really
Mhm,
quick?
mhm.
Like, I don't know what is going on with Square Enix, but they've been having a lot of issue with games with fonts. Like,
Yeah.
for example,
Star Ocean.
Star Ocean 6, like,
Yeah.
I was playing the game, I could barely see it on my 1440p monitor. No one could see what's going on stream.
Get a
It's
bigger
so
monitor, dude.
tiny. It's
I
so
got
tiny and blurry.
I got a 4K 27-inch monitor about 2 feet away from me. I was able to enjoy it just fine, but
Yeah. But
but
yeah, no, it's not so
yeah,
much the size too.
I
It's
know.
like the
It's
color, it kind of blends in, it's blurry. It's
I
like,
know.
what's going on?
It's a very common
Like,
complaint. I'm just giving you crap
yeah.
because you're Baku. Anybody at home, I trust you. I trust your judgment. But it honestly, it did not affect me, and so I didn't even
Yeah.
mention it during my experience points video talking about the game. But yeah, that is something that I have heard a lot of from other people since I
Yeah.
put it out. It was like people are like, it's fun. I can't read it. It's a problem.
Yeah.
And I hope that Square Enix, did they ever fix that, or is it still?
Well, I mean, not, but I mean, by the time I beat the game, like, I haven't really looked back and I haven't heard anything. But remember Pixel Remaster? Remember that whole thing with the font?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
oof.
just like, it's not even
Imagine-
just, yeah.
Imagine using Helvetica or something on a pixel art game, like or like Helvetica Narrow or something. Like,
Right.
it's not even like regular. Like why not just make a pixel perfect font for the game, like, or just one
Yeah.
font for all of the games? It's so easy. I could do it.
I don't know what's going through their heads. It's like, but they're just having this consistent issue with fonts in different games, different reasons, but always the font. It's like
Fonts are expensive,
least,
Baku. Don't you know?
it's like the least likely thing to be complained about, like voice acting, the game progression, story, blah blah blah. Like, there's always these like things that people would talk about, but font is like a thing that like doesn't really come up
I
because
know.
it's usually pretty easy to get right. And it's one of
Yeah.
the first things that they would get right. But for some reason, Square Enix is like, you know what? Font's not important. All right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the problem is whoever they have in QA has like, eagle eye vision, and they're just like, yeah, this is great. I can see this easily from across the room. I don't know. Apparently, I don't know. I do not get it myself. But
Yeah.
anyways, So yeah, the PC, by the way, the specs have been pretty alarming for the game, with a recommended computer spec being 24 gigs of RAM.
That's quite a
And
bit.
yeah, that's a lot of RAM.
Quite a bit of RAM.
My computer hits that, but I'm a video editor. Like I gotta have something that can do this. An NVIDIA RTX 3070. Oh, okay, this is recommended, or a or an AMD 6700 XT GPU for 1440p 30 FPS gameplay.
30
for a nice cinematic experience.
30.
Though we should also point out that these are the recommended specs, and there will be other specs, that are going to work better for like 1080p gaming. Which honestly,
absolutely.
Honestly, the difference between, I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to say what my opinions are about specs for frame rates and for resolutions, but I will say, yeah, you could probably get a better experience playing at a lower frame rate. I'm sorry, a lower resolution and higher frame rate. Yeah. You'd probably be better erring on that side.
Especially when it's a action like game.
Yeah, it's an action game.
Yeah.
You definitely will want to be able to like see all the frames.
Smoothest.
You don't want to be killed by stutter.
Experience. Yeah.
Now here's the other thing. Like, there have been a lot of people that have. Well, hang on. There haven't been a lot of people who've been getting any sort of review codes, as far as I'm aware.
Really?
Square. Oh yeah, I have. I've got a small group of people that nobody has really been getting review codes for this. I saw a video several days ago from Dreamcast guy Max said that nobody that he knows is getting review codes. They're just not going out. What is Square Enix trying to hide from us here? That's the question. Like, it's being a very curated experience as far as who gets to say what about their games. And as far as Scott is concerned, this game is fun. Like, because how much do you suppose Square Enix spent to bring him out? I mean, I'm not trying to like discredit what he said at all, but like, just to take the only word that he got in edgewise here is the word fun. He could have said, I think it was pretty fun, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll take fun out of that, right? Or, I don't know, guys, this game doesn't seem very fun, and they could just be like, yeah, okay, fun, we'll use that.
We'll use that word right there.
We don't know. All we know is that Square Enix has been very cagey about, letting people see this in advance. Maybe it's because they want to make sure that it doesn't get like leaked out early, maybe because they do have a history of getting burned. I don't think it's necessarily through review units that has been happening, but maybe that's some extra step that they're trying to do to be extra careful. But it raises some questions. I think the game looks like it could be a lot of fun. Some people are probably not going to want to play it because of various predispositions, I'll say, but I think it looks like it could be fun, and I don't want to judge it yet. And when eventually I do get my hands on a copy, I think I would like to give the game a try and see how it actually feels in the hands. But man, I guess I'm just apprehensive at this point about the game.
Can we say that Square Enix is being a sussy baka? Yeah.
I think
is that it? Is that
it's not my word. I don't think I'm allowed to use that word. But if I was Gen Z, maybe I would say that. If I was a Zoomer,
I'm also not Gen Z. Oh,
okay.
No. No.
I mean, I know better than to use somebody else's slang because especially if I don't know it.
That's true. Well, they're being sus, all right. I mean, they're being sus. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all this really comes down to is hype responsibly. If this has been on your wanted list, I would not pre-order it yet. Let me say that. If you've got a pre-order, maybe consider backing off on that.
Yeah.
I'm very. It does not bode well. It seems very foreboding. I think that this is what Square Enix
foreboding.
if I were to say, if Square Enix had a game and they knew it was a turd, this is what I would expect them to do. You know, this is what I would expect them to do, so that early reviews don't come out and then everybody's like, oh crap, we need to, cancel our pre-orders before it's too late. Like this sounds, it's a trap is what it looks like, but it could be something else. But it's so hard to tell. So
I can't make out what they're trying to do.
I don't know. It's hard. I'm struggling to find the right words here, but I'm not trying to say
whoever's
panic.
managing the release is just not doing a great job. They're releasing all these like videos and stuff, but I don't know if they're really conveying that they're not really selling it well.
No, they're not.
I don't know what it is about this.
And I think it's been like that ever since I feel like it's been like that ever since that first one that came out where the gal was trying to act like a Marvel movie character.
She's quippy. She's being quippy.
She's doing the Joss Whedon thing or whatever they call it.
I have no idea. I
don't know.
Here's the thing. I didn't even think that trailer was too bad, honestly.
No.
I saw it. I'm just like, whatever. Like I don't understand what people are going off about. Like we did report it. I did talk about it, but I didn't really get the problem.
It felt necessarily immersion breaking. I think that's what a lot of people didn't like about it. Yeah. It felt like, here's this really awesome looking game, here's this really awesome setting, and here's a really sarcastic gal who's just like totally over all of this stupid dragon stuff. It's like, come on.
Guess fighting dragons, guess that's my life now.
Yeah, like it just sounds.
Yeah. I get that it's silly.
It sounds like she's over all this nerd crap.
Yeah, no, I get the silliness of it all. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't understand why it was so
it took
negative
off,
or like
why it took off so much. It's slow week in the slow week in the rage industry. Slow week. That's probably it. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Let's move on. This one's exhausting.
Slow week. We're definitely not having a slow week for news because we've got a ton of new game announcements, or should I say, just a ton of news in general.
Yeah.
Let's talk about game announcements, though. So we've talked about this game a couple of times, but there's something new for us to talk about. Idea Factory International announced the PS4 and Switch physical release for Little Witch Nobeta, which, by the way, it's the cute girl. What is it? Dark Souls game. Yeah, that one.
the cute souls.
The cute souls, yes.
Or what do they call it? Other people call it like lolly souls or something.
Lolly
right?
soul, yeah, they call it lolly soul. So that's coming out in March 7th. That's the physical release. So you can already get the game on Steam and what have you. But if you want the physical release, IF is doing that. They're publishing it. It will come in standard and limited edition as per usual from IF. Limited edition will include a steel case, art book, soundtrack, pop-up card, and a plush, which based on our last show in the comments section, a lot of people like plush. I was very surprised. A lot of people like plush. Yeah, I was like,
people
really?
Like
you
plush.
guys all like plush?
Yeah,
I am not a personal fan of plush because I feel like they get dusty.
I like certain plushes. People have been asking for SuperDerek plushes, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Turns into voodoo doll. You see like pins on.
Oh,
what happened? No!
Hey, if you guys want a voodoo doll, you got to DIY that stuff, okay?
Yeah. Pre-order is not currently open right now for the game. However, it will be open on the 27th, which is coming soon. We'll be including a link in the description down below once we get around to it.
Awesome. So yeah, that'll probably happen like today or tomorrow. Moving along, we've also got Brave's Rage, which comes from ISVR and Astro Blade Games. It's an active time deck building game. I don't quite know what that means in those words in that order, but here, let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer, and maybe that will give us
Yes,
a little
I think
more context here.
The trailer would tell us what this is about. I don't know why it's in Chinese. It's like it's English, but it's speaking in Chinese. But it's a Japanese developer, so I'm very confused.
Really?
Yeah, it's in English from a Japanese developer speaking in Chinese. Like what is going on?
Maybe it's so that they could make one trailer for 3 different audiences.
No idea.
Cost cutting measure. I still don't. I was distracted by the Chinese, so I don't actually know what it means to be a real time deck builder. But
so
if that looks like something you want to play, it's coming out on the 2nd of February for PlayStation 5. So it's really going to push that machine to its limits. Also coming out on Switch and PC.
Yes. So I mean, I think it's like your standard like deck building kind of game. But there's also like an active time bar when you have to select your card, so you can't just sit there and just like wait it out. You gotta
be on your toes, kind of.
Yeah, and pick the card and attack which enemy, for example. Like that has to happen within like a limited amount of time for you to make. So
it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories or Chain of Memories in that regard.
Never
I guess.
Played those games, so no idea. But yeah, I have deck building with ATB.
I didn't care for it, but that's okay. So if you cared for it, though, this might be up your alley. Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we have another one that you said you would talk about.
Yeah, so let's go back and talk about Swords Online because I'm pretty sure this is the 5th game.
I thought you said SARS Online. It's Sword Art Online.
Sword Arts Online. Okay. Stars Online. Yes. Sword Art Online. Sword Arts Online. So this is, like I said, I think this is the 5th, if not the 6th game. I need to go back and count. I don't know, but the title is called Last Recollection. So Bandai Namco just shared some information regarding this game. This new title will continue the story of the previous game, which is, as you know, Alicization, Lycoris, and it's going to follow Kirito and friends as they venture through what they're calling the Dark Territory to find their way home. Let's take a look at that trailer. This is the new trailer that's come out.
All right, let's do that. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if people like follow the anime or the novel, but this is basically the part where Kirito got poisoned and then he's like put into this like simulated world basically for reasons. I mean, this is the whole thing. Like I'm not going to get through it, but so they're going through this world and yada yada. And now they're trying to find their way out, basically. Like he's basically trapped in here and he's trying to get out.
Okay. You know, that was one of the things that really made it difficult for me to continue watching SAO was like after the first season, all the stakes felt like they disappeared overnight.
Yeah.
And it's like once you have it in the back of your mind, it's just a game and they can leave and do whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, kind of, yeah. I guess it's not so bad anymore, is it?
So this time, and mind you that the anime and the game is different in a lot of fundamental ways.
Okay.
Some people who are dead in the anime are alive in the game. So like the story is not like 100% the same. The game also has a lot of new characters that plays like pivotal role that does not exist in the anime. So it's not like direct experience. So even if you don't necessarily like the anime, the game definitely has something different to offer. So that may or may not be good news for people. Now, but the general gist, I think, for this one is, again, Kirito got attacked in real life, and he was, like, poisoned and injured pretty badly. So they found a way to save him, and that is to, like, remove his consciousness and puts it somewhere else.
Okay.
And long short, wherever he was, that facility was attacked in real life. And so he's endangered in the game and also in real life. So people
Okay.
trying to keep him, like he's in like a comatose state in real life. So all the meanwhile, they're trying to keep him physically safe. He's also trying to like escape, like, the world that his mind is in. So it was kind of like, double the stakes, because
Yeah.
there weren't enough stakes, right? So
Yeah,
they're like, all right,
exactly.
we're gonna give you more stakes. How about 2 stakes? You
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
beat? Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so that was fun.
Man, okay, so yeah, that's pretty interesting. If I
Yeah.
was Kirito, that's his name, right? Kirito.
Kirito, yeah.
I would avoid computers for the rest of my life.
Never playing another game. Like,
Like, I'm
I'd
out.
be
I'm
so
done.
traumatized. Yeah, no more gaming. I'm just gonna read books now.
Yep.
Yeah. So this has a 2023 release on PS4, PS5, Xbox Ones, Xbox Series XS, and PC. No Switch. No more. No more Switch.
All right.
We're done.
Well, we've got another game here coming out, or that was announced rather, and that is White Day 2: The Flower That Tells Lies. This comes from Rootin Studio. It's given us a first real look at the sequel to the popular Korean horror game White Day. This
yes.
new trailer for White Day 2: The Flower That Tells Lies, we can check that out right now.
I've totally sequenced it so that Derek can talk about it.
You did, actually. I appreciate
absolutely did.
because I'm a huge fan. I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm a
Derek
I'm a K
loves
horror
games.
I am a K horror
horror fan.
You might even call me a sommelier. A sommelier of
Sommelier.
a sommelier of K horror.
You're a K horror stan. Is that it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I am so well versed that I know how to pronounce the word sommelier. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know that guy's gonna come back and be like, "Oh, Derek said it. Derek said that he is." Oh my god.
Yep.
This is gonna get quoted.
K horror, or horror as I like to call it.
Horror.
Yeah, is it's my jam.
Oh boy. Yeah, so this game is made with Unreal Engine 4, I think. So probably a lot prettier than the previous game. You do have to solve puzzles in a school. Why are there so many puzzles in Korean schools? I have no idea. But you probably have to solve a bunch of puzzles to get out and get away from the ghosts. That's like trying to
the
kill
puzzles are there to tell people how it's an educational system that they have there.
Is that why they're so much smarter than our kids? Is that why?
Hey.
You have to just lay puzzles at every door. You're not leaving to go home until you solve this puzzle.
Yes.
And every day is going to be a different puzzle.
Didn't you ever watch or read the show Read or Die? It's a documentary series made in Japan about how you need to be a horror sommelier to survive out in the real world.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm just I would love to see a school where like there are just puzzles at every door, and like you if you want to leave this classroom, gotta solve that puzzle. Otherwise, I guess you're stuck in here. I guess you're just not going home.
But anyways, for anybody who's curious about why I keep saying sommelier, even though obviously that's incorrect, Baku and I were talking about how we feel underqualified to be. Somebody referred to us as sommeliers earlier, and
of JRPGs.
Of JRPGs. I was like, I don't know about that. We're not trained. We don't have snifters here. We don't. I don't measure the teardrops on the inside of the wine glass when it comes to this.
The nice legs. You can see. Oh, this.
Oh yeah, the
nice
legs.
The legs. Yeah.
I will never tell you about the tannins or oak tones of a JRPG.
Very dry. This one. It's got notes of blackberries and chocolates and oak barrels.
Anyways, that's just making fun of ourselves at this point. But so that's coming out on PC, but there's no real release date that's been given for it yet.
That's correct.
So keep your eyes and ears peeled. How do you peel your eyes?
For that core.
For that core, exactly. Yeah, it's part of the experience.
All right.
Now you also lined it up because you wanted to talk about this one, and I don't blame you. Go for it.
This next game I am like super excited about. I don't know, I'm more excited about this game than like honestly any of the games that we're talking about today. And the game is called the Dokapon Kingdom Connect. So Idea Factory again, they announced that they will be releasing this game outside of Japan. So a little backstory here. This game was originally released on PS2. It was a board game with RPG mechanics that was Japan exclusive until now. So you gotta fight enemies on the board, level up, you get to change into 11 different jobs, and more importantly, sabotage your friends.
Oh,
it's kind of like Mario Party. Yeah.
Oh,
so
it's an RPG where you can ruin the friendships you have left.
Yes. Whatever friendship you have left that's holding you back from that like solitude life of playing JRPGs.
Oh man.
Now you can go and destroy those friendships.
And I feel like this would be a great new entry in my series of videos talking about how to defeat your backlog the SuperDerek way. If you got a social life getting between you and your video games, Dokapon Kingdom Connect.
Yes. In case you didn't think it was convenient enough to destroy friendships, you can do it over online multiplayer. So, long distance friendship destroying mechanisms.
Yes.
It's just all right, let's take a look at the trailer so that you guys know what I'm talking about.
You know what this has me wondering? If we play this, will that be the end of HitPoint?
Yeah, that probably it.
How many people can play this?
I don't know. Probably four. I imagine 4. Yeah, but we'll see. They didn't really specify, but
let's see. Me, you, Grayson, David Vink, all play a game of Dokapon Kingdom Connect, and the JRPG streamer wars begin.
So
at first there was peace, but then the Baku nation attacked.
So apparently the premise of the game is that monsters stole a bunch of money from the kingdom. So the king was like, come here, adventurers, and like fight these monsters and get the gold back. And whoever, is successful at doing something, you get to be the next king of Dokapon. So spin the roulette. Yeah. And then, so it's like, like a Mario Party kind of like world, like map thing. You run around, you fight enemies. It's an RPG board game adventure. You have to fight enemies. You have to choose attack. You have to level up.
So you definitely have to play this with people who know about RPGs for the most part.
Yes. Yeah.
Like this isn't something I could like talk my parents into playing over Zoom one day. Probably.
I feel like someone could turn this into a tabletop if they haven't already. That might be kind of fun. Yeah. There are different job classes that you can pick.
Yeah.
You raise your stats. You can change class.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't be a bona fide RPG if you couldn't do that. Different characters.
I think there are plenty of bona fide RPGs that don't allow you to switch classes. Okay, so that English VA is a little grating on the ears. I think it's supposed to be, but God, that is shining through. How long is this trailer?
3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're like way past half though.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got like another minute or so.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere, everybody, because we got some good news coming up after this.
Yes.
I mean, I guess Baku is
Oh, you
really
can
excited about
fight
this
other
one too.
people too. I want to see how you sabotage people. I know you can. You can fight people,
Mm-hmm.
and if you lose the fight, oh, so if you lose the fight, the other player can make you do something.
Huh.
Oh, you didn't change your hairstyle.
Oh God, look at that. Oh man. So the question is, does this
There are
require
tons of ways to annoy.
does each player have to have a copy? That's the main question for me now.
I would imagine you do.
Because
I
there are
can't
some games that
imagine-
you don't.
Yeah.
But like there could be a client that you could just download from like the eShop or something.
Mhm.
I don't know if they would do that for this game.
Yeah. I
Is
would
it online
imagine-
or is it local co-op only?
I think it's both.
Oh yeah, okay. Online battles. Cool.
Yeah, there's definitely online battles. I'm pretty
Good.
sure it's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spring of 2023.
Spring of 20 years. So soon. This will be out soon. I'm really looking forward to playing this game online with some folks. So
Ready to ruin some friendships over
Yeah.
some RPGs?
yeah, just a reminder again that this game is not a new game. It is just
New to
being
us.
ported to. Well, it's new to us because it's never been released outside of Japan, but
Yeah.
also new to Switch. So in that sense, it is new.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, here's that other good news that is actually, I think, our top headline of the day, despite the fact
Yes.
that Dokapon Kingdom's super cool. And that is the Granblue Fantasy Festival 2023 had some news for us.
Yes.
So, Granblue Fantasy versus Rising, side games, it's side games, right? CY
Yes.
gave us a first look at the new spin-off fighting game called Granblue Fantasy versus Rising, which looks to be an upgraded version of Granblue Fantasy Versus with upgraded graphics, new characters, and more. And we also have a little bit of a trailer to look at for this one.
Teaser trailer from Psy Games.
Yeah, there's little side games there for you. The low frame rate, I think, is intentional.
Unreal Engine.
Yeah,
so
Unreal Engine sounds fake to me.
So Arc System Works, of course, is returning for this game. Obviously, the legendary fighting game developers.
They
super
did
stylish. Yeah, Guilty Gear,
Fighters.
What is it called?
The Dragon Ball Fighters.
Dragon Ball Fighters,
did they
Blaze
do
Blue,
Blaze
that's all
Blue,
them. Yeah. So they made a game called Granblue Fantasy Versus, which it's actually pretty well received, I would say, in the fighting game community. I have a lot of friends who play it and they're having a blast. It's also pretty easy for like beginners to come in and pick up, so it's pretty good. The new game now is basically the same thing, but just like an upgraded version, it looks like to me.
Yeah.
To my untrained eyes, because
which is probably exactly what players of the original would probably want, because they don't want to probably have to relearn all the moves and stuff, right? They just want more of the same, right?
Yeah, probably.
And that's what this looks like it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
They
have definitely tweaked some stuff, but yeah.
I'm definitely not even an armchair expert of this. The only reason I care at all is because, it's pretty, but I'm not a fighting game guy.
Beautiful game.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I was playing that with a couple of friends, and I'm not even big on fighting games, but it was just a lot of fun. It was really easy to pick up as a beginner to the fighting game genre. So I thought it was pretty good. So PS4, PS5, Steam crossplay, which is pretty important. Yeah. So this is the updated version or upgraded version of Granblue Fantasy Versus called Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, and I wish I was a little faster to realize that song had lyrics, so we're probably gonna get copy strike.
No, not again. Well, we were like
every dang time
actively talking over this thing.
I know. Hopefully everything will be fine, but I don't know. But anyways, so that's I know. Anyways, so that's the trailer for part one. So this is part one of Granblue Fantasy Festival, but there is a part two, and that is Granblue Fantasy Relink. This is a game that I was so excited for back in 2018, Baku. I was so excited for this game.
Me
And I made a
too.
video. It was the reason I put out a video called Games I'm Hyped For in 2018. And it was not about games that were coming out in 2018 that I was hyped for, but I was hyped in 2018 for those games. Okay. That was 5 years ago. Am I still hyped? Well, let's find out, because Side Games gave us a new trailer for Granblue Fantasy Relink, which is exciting to know because this is a legacy Platinum Games title that will not be dropped, apparently. We thought that it was not long for this world, but this trailer says otherwise.
We hardly knew ye. English voice acting, man. They paid big money for all that, you know?
Yeah.
Nintendo couldn't do it. Still ripping Nintendo.
Rule number one, always be ripping Nintendo.
Always rip Nintendo.
This one, I'm actually really excited to see more of.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
I remember when we started HitPoint about a year ago, they put out a new gameplay trailer, I think, that showed
it was
like
supposed to be out in 2022.
Yeah, it showed like collapsing environments and stuff as you're like running out and like, or was this even before HitPoint?
And then they delayed it to 2020 to indefinite, and then just now they're saying 2023. So you know, like, fingers crossed, because exactly a year ago they did this and then they delayed it. So you know,
I mean, pandemic did sort of happen at some point during all of this, so it's kind of understandable some things might have been derailed.
Yeah,
I mean, lockdown happened, pandemic is ongoing, but
look, if it's a finished, polished product, delay away, just, you know.
Yeah. Hey, but let's just hope that it has managed to avoid development hell, because it looks so gorgeous, right?
Oh, yeah.
I hope it's just out before PlayStation 6 is announced. There's a lot of
playable characters, and I wonder if they're being too ambitious with that, but...
Oh, man.
Because you get to, like, switch around, you get to use all these different characters.
God, that animation looks really good.
Yeah.
Like the visuals here, it's like a perfect blend of anime aesthetic while also being polygonal without being overly cel shaded. Like
I don't really
rides a fine line.
Granblue,
Me neither.
but I think those are like the 4 like knights. They all have like an element, like Lancelot and like Percival, I think his name is.
Okay.
I only know these names because of the fighting game.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
so
originally a mobile game.
So they're like Knights of the Round, basically, or named after them.
Kind of like there are 4 of them. Yeah.
Is one of them Brave Sir Robin?
The other. Yeah. Oh, this is like the fans' favorite. Just now, the tiny, like the little girl. Yeah, that one's like the fans' favorite. She's kind of like the captain of like a knight order. I think.
Course.
Yeah. I think her name is like Charlotte. Yeah.
Every RPG
Everyone loves Charlotte.
Yeah.
Charlotte absolutely shreds in the fighting game because her hitbox is so small. But yeah.
She's like Odd Job in Nintendo 64's GoldenEye.
Yeah, right?
So
oh boy, that game looks amazing.
So that's the new trailer, and so like I asked, am I still hyped for it? It looks really good.
That looks really good.
I'm going to do what I can to remain responsibly hyped. And you can get your Hype Responsibly t-shirt at shop.superderekrpgs.com. Make sure you pick up a hoodie before that sale ends tonight, by the way, that pre-sale. After that, they are gone for good.
It's one of the games that I'm looking forward to.
Gotta shoot my shot. You got it. If I'm gonna go full time on YouTube, baby, it's gonna be from stuff like this, because RPG reviews don't go viral. So
get that shirt.
Yeah.
Unless it's TGS, apparently.
Now, both games are going to be released sometime in 2023. Make sure you guys check it out at some point, all right?
Yes, I am.
We'll keep you abreast of when, in future updates, when these games are going to be coming out, when the release dates are announced and all of that.
Absolutely.
Now that about rounds things out for the new games, but we also have some other industry style news that we're going to be talking about.
Industry news. It's almost like they had a bunch of news, and then for the first 2-3 weeks, they're just like, yeah, you know what, we're just gonna hold it back, and then now they're just like floodgate. So let's start off with some bad news. More arugula for you all. Yeah, I know. The Nier Automata version 1.18 anime is being put on delay due to COVID. Said
like I
A1
said,
Pictures.
ongoing pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, the studio is responsible for the adaptation, and so as a result, the fourth episode, which was slated for January 29th, and all subsequent episodes of the adaptation will be delayed indefinitely. There is no time frame in which they will be back, but they did, of course, say that they will try to give some updates ASAP. But yeah, it's a little, I wouldn't say it's never happened, but it's quite unusual for an ongoing adaptation that's already actively being aired to take a hit. It's probably some extraordinary circumstances.
Yeah,
with
like
core
maybe the
staff.
lead animator or somebody came
Yeah,
down with
like,
it, or somebody
absolutely.
maybe. Yeah, it's a hard job. It's specialized jobs, and when the key people behind it suddenly are taken out of the picture for a while, it hurts. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
All right. So we also have some other industry news here related to Tales of Symphonia.
Yes.
What about Tales of Symphonia? Is this industry news related to the trail the Symphonia remaster? No. This is still really good news though, and it is anime news related because the Tales of Symphonia anime is now currently freely available on YouTube in celebration of the
Yay.
Tales remaster. Bandai Namco is releasing the anime adaptation of the game for free. And there will be a link in the description down below. There are currently 2 episodes out right now, and 1 new episode will be added to the channel per week. No dubs, but there will be English subs. So keep your eyes out for that.
All right. Speaking of animated works, the official Sonic Twitter confirmed that there will be a second season of Sonic Prime, and it will be coming sometime this year. So congratulations again, Sonic fan. Like, Sonic fans are just winning.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just like just one after another, just like the game, the series, like things are looking up for Sonic fans. All right. No additional information right now. This is just like something that they've thrown out there, but hey, good news. Season 2 is coming. So we'll keep an eye on this.
All right. Here, I'm just writing something down because I was like, I want to talk about something else. I'm going to add it to the doc. So next up, we've got Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes DLC 3 vote. That is the 100 Heroes official Twitter announced that a week-long vote will be coming out tomorrow, starting on the 23rd, for fans to decide what to include in DLC 3. Now, remember, this is not Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. This is not the tie-in game that you can get the physical version of with the link in the video's description. No, this is rule number 1, always be hustling.
Okay, Linus.
Okay, but also, this is the 100 Heroes one. This is the main game, so you can vote for what's going to be included in the 3rd DLC and help decide the future of the franchise and vote on 5 different DLC scenarios. The voting page is not yet known, but they will probably announce it via a tweet. So, yeah, keep your eyes open on their Twitter. Link will also be in the description for that down below.
Yes. All right. Speaking of voting things, you can vote on this right now. There's a page for this one, and that is with the Nipponichi software, NISA, open a special page to invite friends to vote for the reverse cover for the upcoming Monster Menu game. Similar to what they did for Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure. Remember that? Like, they had these like voting thing where you can like go in and be like, oh, I like this cover for
Oh yeah,
Trails from
yeah.
Zero. I
I
like
do
that
remember
cover from
now.
Trails through Azure.
It's been a
Well, they're
minute.
doing it again for this new game called Monster Menu, The Scavenger's Hunt. Oh, sorry, The Scavenger's Cookbook. So I'm actually pretty excited about this game because I think the concept's pretty fun. But I also think that this is a nice way to engage the fans. It's pretty what's the word? Low effort, but
Hmm.
it's still nice that fans get a voice
Yeah.
in some things. So I would encourage it. So if this is a game that you're interested in, definitely head on over to the link that we'll be including in the description later to cast your votes.
All right. So next up, this is the one that I was just adding in. Sorry, I was
Mhm.
distracted about it, but I wanted to talk about it because I'm super excited about. It's not an anime, but it
Mhm.
is animation that is currently freely available. Well, not freely available, but it's available to everybody who has Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
And that is The Legends of Vox Machina, which is a TV series that the first. Okay, so it's season 2 of the Legends of Vox Machina is now streaming again. The first season was phenomenal. Second season, first 3 eps are out right now, and a new episode will be added every week.
Mhm.
And the first 3 episodes this time around, I just want to say, have been absolutely wild.
Oh wow.
Baku, I don't know if you're at all familiar with Legends of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime or Critical Role in general. Are you?
I am not.
Okay. So
Yeah.
just to kind of set the stage for anybody who's not familiar, Critical Role is a very long running D&D show. People have been
Mhm.
streaming it on Twitch for years at this point, and The
Mhm.
Legends of Vox Machina is a TV show that's based on their first campaign that was based first initially in like Pathfinder, and then they moved it over to D&D 5e when they started releasing episodes weekly on YouTube under Geek and Sundry. But then they kind of
Mhm.
spun off into their own thing, and it's kind of blown up lately and is largely responsible for at least a small portion of the resurgence in D&D. There's
Oh,
some
that's
others.
cool.
There's some other D&D news regarding crazy stuff I'm not even going to talk about right now. I'm just going to be excited about specifically the Legends of Vox Machina TV show because they kickstarted this thing a
Mhm.
long time ago. It went crazy through the roof. They hit their goals. The first season was phenomenal. Second season shaping up to be just as stellar. And I highly recommend it for anybody who has access to watch them, except for children, because this is not for kids. It has like people with skin getting melted off by acid
Mhm.
spitting dragons, and oh, it's so terrible. There's gore and nudity. It's incredible. I love it. Go
Mm.
watch it if you are into that sort of smut.
This is the sort of smut that Derek's apparently into.
Oh man,
Acid
that is
melting skin
exactly.
and
Yeah.
nudity. Yeah,
Oh yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
not at the same time. Not at the same time. You know, just at different times. So,
Okay.
and you can get your copy of. I'm just kidding. There's no affiliate link with Amazon. Sorry, guys. That would be great though.
Hashtag can be sponsored.
Call me Amazon. I could do a
Call
bang up
us.
job.
Come on,
Okay.
Basil.
All right, the meme is over. Let's continue on to this next discussion topic, which I think we're just gonna kind of wing it because I've already put out a video talking a little bit about it.
Mhm.
But I wanted to kind of get Bagu looped in here because this is also some pretty important industry news.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm just gonna add the link to their their posts so that you can kind of read along with us,
Hmm.
so you know that we're not just making this stuff up. So apparently, Sony took it upon themselves to explain to us what Japanese RPGs are, and they have some definitions that
Hmm.
they're putting out there.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna read it word for word, and then we can talk a little bit about what
Oh,
they're saying. So
okay. Here, maybe I'll share my screen here even while you do
yeah,
it.
sure. Oh, actually, let me. Yeah, why don't I post it in the screen thing? Yes. Okay, it's there now.
Oh, I have it pulled up on my screen
Oh,
already.
okay.
We're good.
All right. So I'm just gonna read this. So the first thing that we're reading is what does JRPG stand for?
Hmm.
JRPG stands for Japanese role-playing game. They are traditionally story-driven adventure games developed in Japan, featuring a group of predefined characters journeying on a quest fraught with danger. Typical traits of the genre include turn-based combat, fantasy elements, especially magic, extensive character and or squad customization, and character progression or leveling systems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty
They give
close.
some examples.
Sure.
And then the next big thing is all JRPGs alike? Not
Yep.
at all. The JRPG has evolved significantly since its early days and now encompasses a range of subgenres, including tactical RPGs and action RPGs, which absorb elements from other genres. The
Sure.
lines can get blurry, but this list focuses on more traditional titles within the genre. So,
All
of
right.
course, you can go through the list that they have kindly provided. All of which, by the way, as I'm scrolling down and I'm looking at all the examples that they give, they're all great games. I mean,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got like Nier Automata, Persona 5 Royal, you know, what is it? Scarlet Nexus, DQ11, like East 8, Kingdom Hearts, No Trails. I'm so sorry, but like
No,
a
but
Dragon.
these, yeah, they got some good options in here.
Yeah, I you know what would have made this list for them if they had just put Trails in here? I think
Oh.
like the Falcon fans would just go wild. Like,
Oh,
"Whoa!"
did you see that they included a little thing about East though a little bit later on? I mean, they got
I no, I saw East, but
yeah.
you know,
So there's
yeah,
there's some
there
Falcon
is
fandom
some
going on.
Falcon, yeah, but you know, and by the way, I'm a big East fan. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that from my experience with all the Falcon fans, they are way bigger with Trails than East, unfortunately, because I think East is great. Okay, so all RPGs made in Japan, JRPGs, not quite. Dark Souls, Neo, and Dragon's Dogma, for example, are highly successful RPGs from Japanese studios, but they're not generally considered JRPGs.
Sure.
Likewise, there are games made outside Japan that many would consider JRPGs. It's best to think of JRPGs as a genre with a strong but not exclusive footing in Japanese culture. So that's the gist of the article. Of course, there are specific examples and descriptions about all the games that they have listed in here, like including like SMT. Feel free to read through it. I think it's it's a fun read, but the meat of the discussion is really just those three statements that
Yeah.
encompasses their views on what makes a thing JRPGs. So
Yeah. So here's
back
a
to
few
you, Derek.
questions. I've already kind of gone on in a video talking at length about why I think that they got it pretty much right. You know, they qualified a lot of those statements. You know, they said things like some people would consider these to be JRPGs, you know, or a lot of people would not consider these to be JRPGs because, you know, like Dragon's Dogma, for instance, which, you know, yeah, I think that's probably accurate because, well, I'll go on my diatribe afterwards, but I wanted to give you a chance to say what you thought about this as well. Like, do you have a working theory of the RPG genres and like how things should work? Like, what's your
working theory? Yeah, and I'm about to say this, knowing that some people will have very strong feelings about what makes a thing, because I've talked about this in my own Twitch channel, and I know what sort of reaction people will have.
It's very divisive. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's extremely divisive. So, you know, take it that this is just like one opinion from one person, right?
Yeah.
But from the years I played, you know, JRPG, and it's been years, the best definition that I've gotten to date, I think, was from James over at Extra Credit. Yeah, and I think he had it pretty right, and that is JRPG really comes down to two definitions, and sometimes they apply to the same game, sometimes they don't apply to the same game, and those two definitions, it basically is this. JRPG definition one would be a game, an RPG game that's made by people who are from the country of Japan. In other words, probably Japanese studios.
Okay.
So an RPG from Square Enix would be Japanese RPG. It's made by people of that nation of origin, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is a very like literal, like this is an RPG from Japan,
Yeah.
right? So hence JRPG. Then the second definition, which is more like the spirit of JRPG, is in the style thereof. So
Yeah.
they talked about like, oh, JRPGs typically has this, it's got roots in, you know, what is it called? Visual novels, of that sort of thing. So there's definitely a certain style of game that we associate to with JRPGs. You know, turn-based is one thing, but you know, there are a lot of like, you know, even aesthetics, right? Not just the way that the game is played, but the aesthetics, the settings, the way that the story progress. A lot of these things are more associated with JRPGs. So the second definition there is more like Japanese style RPG, right? And the two can sometimes and a lot of times apply to a game.
Yeah.
For example, Persona 5 would fit both definitions,
Yeah,
right?
both definitions, for sure.
A game from Atlas. It's made by Japanese people. It is a RPG from Japan, but in the style of JRPG.
Yeah.
Whereas a game like Dark Souls, you can argue that it is not in the style of JRPG, but it is JRPG nonetheless because it's made by people in Japan. So it is a Japanese RPG.
Yeah.
And then you have games that are, and I see a lot of like Chain Memories, right? Chain Memories is definitely not, is I think the person lives in Germany.
Oh, Chained Echoes, you mean?
Oh, Chain Echoes. I'm sorry. Did I say Chain Memories?
You did.
Is that
That's a Kingdom Hearts thing. Yeah.
Sorry,
okay.
Chain Echoes. Sorry, I got that wrong. Chain Echoes. That's from like Germany, right? I think it's like a person.
One dude made that.
Fabulous game, by the way. It looks amazing. Scott was playing it the other day.
Oh, it's so good.
And that is in the style of JRPG, but you know, I'm pretty sure that they're not of Japanese descent. Nor are they from the or nor are they from the country of Japan, right?
Do we need to ask him do we need to find out if he's Japanese or not before we're allowed to classify this game? That's
and that's wait, but that's where we're getting to the place where we're getting a little too pedantic, right? Because
like and it's like if he if it was mixed? Do we need to like if it was half Japanese, half German, would that make it a half a JRPG? Like do we need to start busting out genealogy charts? Like,
that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you know, I fall mostly in line with the Japanese style school of thought, which is, for the most part, it's the style of the game, which PlayStation kind of touched on. But if you want to say that Dark Souls is a JRPG with Western influence, I wouldn't say you're wrong.
No.
Right?
No.
So it's not that stringent.
I would not personally call it a JRPG with Western influences. I would say it's a RPG from Japan with Western influences. Like I feel like that should be, I mean, but that's just me, right?
Yeah.
So here's an analogy that was given to me by a developer, and I'm going to steal it wholesale because it is so perfect. They said something along the lines of this: you can go to England and you can enjoy yourself an awesome English breakfast, right? You know, you get your bangers and mash, the beans that go with it, eggs, full on English breakfast, right? You can do that in England if you would like. Or you can come back home to the United States and you can make yourself a full-on English breakfast with bangers and mash, with your beans and eggs. And you can do that here. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be from a specific country. Like the style is of that country, but you don't have to, like, it's not like champagne where it's like, it comes from a specific region of Japan. Somebody in the comments of that other video were like, oh, they said something about the lines of like, oh, it has to come from this specific region of Japan. Otherwise it's a sparkling RPG.
No, you know why we run into this whole thing? It is a quirk in linguistic, right? Because
Yeah.
Japanese could mean two things.
Yeah.
Just the word the main qualifier here is Japanese, and Japanese could mean people. Like that is,
Yeah.
he's Japanese or she's Japanese, or like an adjective for a thing that is in the style thereof. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Japanese food, Japanese, architecture, right?
Yeah.
So and that's the reason why we're running into this thing. So if you're using Japanese, like what are you really referring to? They're both linguistically speaking, I think they're both valid. But at the end of the day, and I was saying that to Derek in the pre-show because we had a small chat about it. At the end of the day, like these things, these genre, like and you can even talk about like say sci-fi or whatever, let's go to books, right? Like
Yeah.
there's all kinds of different genres of books, like mystery, yada yada. Like you can, there's a lot of like blurred lines, but at the end of the day, all these qualifiers are only useful to the population that uses these words in helping them do like a quick
point of reference,
a quick point of reference
of an idea.
But at the end of the day, you still need to like go in and observe the work itself to see whether or not it makes sense to you as an individual, right?
Sure.
So call it whatever you want. There's a generally, and we say generally accepted definition as in like the aggregate of people, that population accepts this definition, and therefore, and you don't have to necessarily be like hard in line with that population. You can just have a slightly definition and it's personal to you, and that's fine, right? At the end of the day, as long as it helps you make an informed decision on whether or not to indulge in this medium and indulge in a certain work, that's all that it really matters. Like no one has to ever get so heated about this. Like
it's all about utility, right? And
it's all about utility
and effective communication. That's the whole point of genres. So thanks for your input on that, Baku. It was good to talk.
Thank you, Mick, for making a whole video on it, Derek.
Of course. I mean, I'm not super happy with the way that video came out. I mean, like it was completely on the fly, off the cuff. I was just like, I have a bunch of ideas. I want to put them out there for everyone just to get this discussion going. And the thing is, like, I don't even consider Sony to be necessarily like an authoritative source for the definition of a JRPG. Generally speaking, I think genres as we define them for video games suck. Like the fact that we call some games based off of their mechanics, some games after their country of origin, some games after some of the like perspective of where the camera is. Like the fact that like it's so weird that we do this. And yet we don't capture any of like the cinematic genres, any of the literary genres that go into making these games when we do that. Like, I think that is just the weirdest thing, that we do categorize games in this way. And it's so incomplete. I would burn it to the ground in an instant if we could and replace it with something more utilitarian. But in the meantime, we've got this weird hodgepodge of crap that we just have to make the most of what we can. And I just feel personally like there's more utility in being able to say, expect this kind of gameplay from a JRPG and have it be defined by the types of gameplay and aesthetics therein rather than the country of origin. So
I think it's funny that you say that, because I honestly think that all these labels, JRPG, first person shooter, third person shooter, adventure, action adventure,
so
like all
unhelpful
these labels
speaks
more about us as gamers than the games that it is describing. Think about that.
I mean,
right?
To go further down this rabbit hole, like all of these are supposedly talking about like the mechanics of the gameplay, right? Because like when you're talking about books, what differentiates them is the writing style. What's unique about cinema makes it cinematography. What makes it unique about game is the gameplay. Like, we try to think about these things as being like, these are the mechanics of the game. What is the mechanic of role playing?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a mechanic. It's one of these things is not like the others. And
Yeah,
it's just because it was like an adaptation of a different kind of game. And honestly, it was more of like, it was more based off of like a battle simulation is really what D&D was originally.
that's true.
But that's just a whole other rabbit hole. I go further into detail in that in my video talking about it's called How to RPG 101, and it covers a breadth of my thoughts on the subject of what RPGs are, their origins, and I go in through like additional episodes talking about like the origins on computer RPGs. It's an ongoing project, and I hope you guys give them a watch at some point. It's a lot of work.
You gotta link these videos in the description.
I
You
should.
have to find it and then link them later.
I know. I always forget to do that. But okay. I think
yeah.
that is the end of the industry news.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and move along to talking about some merch. And this time we're not going to talk about my merch. Okay, I promise. Oh,
which,
crap!
by the way, you have until midnight to make that order, and it's 10 o'clock, so you have like 2 hours.
That's true.
Wink, wink. Okay, yeah. Let's talk merch really quick. We've only got 2 pieces of merch that I feel like you all might be interested in. The first one is the Legend of Mana Serafina Nendoroid. And if you can scroll on over to my
there we go.
To my page. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So that is the new Nendoroid. And for anyone who is a fan of figures and also a fan of
Legend of Mana?
Legend of Mana. I was about to say Trials of Mana. I was like, wait a minute, that's a different game. Legend of Mana. Yeah. So this is they never really had a name for this character to begin with. But because they're doing the anime now, like with the adaptation, they actually gave these was nameless, male and female protagonist names. So Serafina is the name of the female like character model that you choose way back. And of course, she will also be shown in the anime adaptation with like a different persona, I would think. Instead of just like this is the player character and his blend, like, so I'm kind of curious as to like see what kind of character they would give like to this and the male protag, right? Because they're supposed to be like blank slate, like you're supposed to role play, right? But yeah, no, this is going to be interesting. But hey, I know that a lot of you guys are a huge fan of Legend of Mana, so I just want to make a note that this product is available if you're interested. It will ship out in October of this year. You can purchase it straight from the Good Smile website. I will leave the link in the description down below.
Awesome. Now, here's a question. So, I mean, or rather, just something I'd like to point out. Is this another sign of life of the Legend of Mana anime that has since disappeared all those months ago?
Well,
or do you like how often do they release PlayStation 1 figures and plushies and such?
Well, no, the anime is definitely coming because they've gone too far. Like they have announced the voice actors, they have got
so it's still ongoing.
Song.
I just remember they never did appear at Las Vegas months and months ago.
No, that was different. That wasn't Legend of Mana. No, that was that wasn't Legend of Mana. That was Final Fantasy IX.
Oh,
the animated show. Yeah. No, they're 2 different things. Yeah,
you're right. Sorry, you're right.
No, because they talked about it right around the same time. They did. They're both Square Enix. Yeah.
So I got them confused. Sorry about that.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Well, never mind. More Sons of Life. This is definitely happening. Final Fantasy IX anime.
100% happening. Yeah.
Who knows about the Final Fantasy IX anime? That is.
I have not heard anything about the Final Fantasy IX like animated show. Like we haven't seen anything. There was no visual.
Yeah.
One company is set to be working on it, and then that was like it. And they were supposed to show something, but then like we didn't see anything. There's no confirmation. Square Enix hasn't said anything, which is extremely bizarre.
Yeah.
Like you would think that Square Enix would have made some official statement.
That must have been a big falling out.
it's just so bizarre with Final Fantasy 9. But just know that the Legend of Mana is definitely happening. Definitely. Unless it doesn't. I mean, because COVID,
Yeah.
who knows? All right. The next item, which I think a lot of you would be extremely interested in this because there's a lot of Trails fans in here, and that is the Trails of Cold Steel Altina Orion figure from, again, Cold Steel 2.
Mm-hmm.
So this time it is not Kotobukiya, but this time it's in Quest Q. Quest Q makes slightly more premium figures. This is a 1/7 scale.
Okay.
And I'm just showing.
And Altina is a small
oops.
person anyway, so 1/7 scale. That's like what? Tiny.
1/8 or what? Yeah. So 1/8 for everybody else. This is the Black Rabbit special suit version. So hopefully this is not like some kind of spoilers for people who hasn't played Cold Steel.
I think that's
2.
the outfit I've seen her wear, so it should be fine.
Yeah. And I'm also showing like Big Back Toys because, you know, people ask like, how can I order this in the States? Well, here's Big Back Toys. But there will be other ways to get it. This is not the only way. Ami carries it. There are a plethora of stores. Feel free to reach out and ask if you want to find legitimate source to get legitimate figures, because guess what? It's like $200 some. Like, it's not chump change.
Yeah.
And if you really like this character and you really want to get it, you want to make sure to getting like the premium, correct, original, not some bootleg. Do not go to eBay and try to buy these. Do not go to Amazon and try to get these. I
Do
guarantee
not
you.
Tesco. Do not collect $200.
They are like 90% of times they're bootlegged. And if the price seems too good to be true,
It probably is. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Like, why pay $260 when I can just pay $50? Suckers. Yeah, you probably got a Chinese like knockoff. Like, guarantee you. And it's gonna look like weird, like the face is off, like, and you're just like,
It's gonna look like my
something's
Kingdom
wrong.
Hearts figure.
Yeah, Kotobukiya is definitely solid. Quest Q is another very reputable brand. So yeah, reach out if you are not an avid figure collector, you want to start a hobby. This is the one that's convincing you to do it because you're such a big Trails fan. Let me know. I can hook it up. Just like X, who asked from last video.
Yeah. Now,
All right.
let's go ahead and move on to one of our final sections of the stream, and that's going to be responding to some questions as well as the outro. But before we do talk about some of those super chats that we've received so far, I did want to ask Baku one extra question today, because this ties in. Yeah, this ties into the subject of Sony making that webpage about what is and isn't
Okay.
an RPG. I forgot to ask you this during our discussion, so I'll ask it now.
Yes.
Why do you think Sony made a webpage now to talk about JRPGs specifically? Like,
That's a good question.
why? Like that
I didn't
took
even think
money.
about that.
It took money to do that. Like, somebody got paid money to write that. Somebody else got paid money to make the page, and then they did it. I wonder if it has something to do with, I wonder if they're going to be reworking their JRPG section or making a JRPG video game section on like PlayStation Network, maybe, to like help categorize those games. And what reminded me that I wanted to ask you this is somebody in the chat was mentioning like that their current system for organizing for JRPGs is rough. So
yeah.
So that could be it. Or and I brought this up during my video, is like, are they thinking about maybe resurrecting some of their JRPG intellectual properties like Legend of Dragoon, Dark Cloud? I mean, that would be nice. I don't know. I don't think so, but it could be. Wild Arms is another IP of theirs that, I mean, like we've been saying, the JRPGs have been kind of coming back a little bit. We've been seeing a lot more tactical RPGs. I'm just trying to get some rumors started here, guys. That's all.
So not JRPG, but I would definitely want to see Sony bring like Gravity Rush back, because like everyone who's played the game loved the game, and I just don't know why they wouldn't expand on it. The story's great, the art's great, the gameplay was really fun. You know, like it's a great game, and Sony doesn't have a lot of good first party title from the JRPG arena, especially.
Yeah, I
S-
mean,
I
well,
mean,
they do. They just they're
what's a
not active.
good what's a good first party title from Sony that they could like easily turn that into like a Sony mascot?
So like when the last RP here, I'll use somebody else's definition of a JRPG and say Demon's Souls
Mm-hmm.
is an RPG that is Japanese that Sony does have the rights to.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Bloodborne. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so there could be some of that, but I kind of don't know about that. Like about what they could use for a
Yeah.
mascot. Like there's no Cloud that they could use. You know what I mean? There's no Cloud
Mm-hmm.
Strife.
There's no Mario for
Well,
them.
they kind of have some exclusivity for some games though, for some JRPGs through Square Enix, right? Like
Yeah, but exclusivity
is
is not first
not the
party.
same.
It's
Yeah.
not the same. Yeah, like that's why I always feel like they don't have that. Like they're just
Oh,
weakest point of
somebody says
Sony is
Kratos. I don't know. That's
I don't.
it apparently
Do
is
we
an
want
RPG.
Kratos as yeah? Do we want Kratos as like? I would be a little reluctant to use Kratos as like
Yeah,
my
me too. Well, he
mascot
was a mascot for
character.
like during the PlayStation 2 era. He was the face of the PS2 for a while.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
not that I think Kratos is not a good character. I think Kratos is, especially over the years, definitely evolved into a way more multifaceted character. But
Yeah.
I would be reluctant to use him as a mascot just because we're asking for different qualities.
I think the answer
Um,
is Dart from Legend of Dragoon. That's it. That's all they got. As far as like a real traditional
uh,
turn-based RPG pro tag,
yeah,
that's their guy. That's
yeah. And I'm
bring him
sorry that
back.
that kind of like veered off into a slightly different topic because it's really two things: is first party RPG, but also like first party games in general is
Hmm.
already kind of lacking. So it's kind of like yeah, it's kind of both. But yeah, as far as RPG is concerned, for Sony, I mean, any your guess is as good as mine or as to why they're doing it, but. I feel like they've already have a. I mean, I think Xbox is soundly defeated with the RPG, like a JRPG
Yeah.
area. Yet they have those, but the first thing you think about when it comes to JRPG, you're not thinking Xbox. I think Switch is doing better than Sony in
Hmm.
some sense,
Yeah.
but
Switch is where you definitely go and play all of the RPGs that you loved from last gen.
yeah, and I feel like Nintendo would be the only true competitor against Sony in the console space.
Hmm.
So if they want to strengthen their ground on it, they might want to spend some money and effort to build that up.
Yeah.
Especially, and I think the more interesting thing is maybe they're finally acknowledging that there's a huge population of people in this world
Yeah.
who are into JRPGs, who would spend the money and buy their system and buy the games enough that it warrants them to, look into this area and see how they can expand on it.
And let me just let me rephrase that last thing I said a moment ago. The Switch is where you go to enjoy all of your favorite RPGs from last gen as well as first party JRPGs that
Yeah,
like Xenogears and Fire Emblem and such. Um
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
just to avoid the ire that I have already narrowly avoided so far, I'll just
Yeah,
throw
I
that
think that's where the whole first person RPG thing that I
or
was
first party.
thinking about come from. Yeah,
Yeah.
like first party. Yeah, I mean, can Intel system make games for someone else? Sure, but are they? Yeah, no. They're Fire Emblem is Nintendo forever. Like, let's just be real.
Hmm.
Monolith, same thing. Like, can they realistically make Xenoblade for something else? Sure, but are they going to? Absolutely not. So they're not first party per se, as in like Nintendo don't own them, but they might as well be. That's sort of what we're getting to. Like they're so exclusive to this one company that you are just not going to see their games like in other like companies' consoles, right? So
Yeah.
or really any platform. Like they're not going to PC either. So
Yeah.
where Square Enix it might be like a time exclusive,
Now,
right?
yeah.
Like
So okay, that kind of wraps up what I really wanted to cover with Sony. It's just some speculation, hype responsibly.
it's interesting. Yeah.
Now we
Thanks
have
for
some
asking.
super chats though that we do need to respond to here. Starting with this one from Yum Raisin, who says, "Happy birthday to me." So happy birthday to you, Yum Raisin. I hope that your birthday has been awesome.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that is your birthday today. Happy birthday, man.
And then we got this one from Duo Beard. Says Jack Garland would make Forspoken more fun, in air quotes.
Fun. I'm going to talk to Scott about this later. It's like, Scott, what is this fun that you're referring to?
Let me know what you find out.
The
but it's probably under embargo, so you're probably not allowed to say. But you know.
Okay, I have to ask him later then.
Yeah, see if he responds. Okay, we got another one from Duo who says, "Congrats to everyone who secured their SuperDerek merch."
Hey,
Yeah, congrats to everybody.
You could still do it. You have like another hour and 2 hours, an hour and a half.
I'm kind of done pushing it at this point, Baku. That is,
time.
I mean, it's a really cool hoodie, I gotta say.
Yeah, you have time.
I mean, it's got the print on, so it's all screen printed on Bella canvas hoodies. It's got like a metal zipper, and I love the trim. Like, there's so much I could go on about this, and how Switch Wicked is the company who's making these. They're a couple of artisans, honestly, who just value like the quality of the printing process. Like, it is an art to them, and they designed the art that goes onto this hoodie. And like I wish that there were some things that I could like include in my pitch to people when I'm making these that I can't, like, always.
That you haven't already said, right?
I mean, honestly, they do great work, and it's super comfortable. But yeah, if you haven't bought it yet, you're probably not gonna, but you do have a little while left.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have one from Consod, who says, "Hey guys, Bayo, DMC, or NG?"
What's NG?
I don't know. New game. I don't know.
I mean, I get DMC.
Yeah,
NG?
Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, or
NG?
I don't know.
Hey, chat, what is NG?
Yeah, help us out, chat. We're struggling. Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden. Okay. Thank you. That makes perfect sense. Okay, now it makes sense.
All right. Personally, I'm gonna go with DMC mostly because I've never played Bayo, and Ninja Gaiden. The last one I played was on the NES. So
yeah, I would love to answer you, but I haven't played Bayonetta, so that defeats the purpose. I played DMC, I played Ninja Gaiden, but I've never played Bayonetta. So literally the game that you're asking me to compare against is the game that I haven't played. So maybe what that means is I need to go play Bayonetta, even for a little bit.
Maybe. It's a really Duo says new game.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Khan. Yeah, I know you paid for this answer, but I
think I might have played some Bayonetta a long time ago, but DMC I have played so I've played the first like 3 PlayStation 2 Devil May Cries. I really enjoyed them a lot. Then I played quite a bit of the reboot DMC, which I thought was actually a lot of fun, despite the lack of classic Silver Dante hair. But I think he gets it later on, like in New Game Plus or something.
Okay.
So
the
that's
new
cool.
DMC, isn't that the one that people like everyone hated?
I guess so, but I liked it.
Yeah, the reboot.
It's been a long time though. It was at the beginning of when I was starting my channel that happened. I think when I was still playing games outside of streams and stuff. But,
man, I only played the original DMC. I haven't even played the new stuff. And I guess I'm not being completely truthful about not having played Bayonetta, but I've only played like half a stage of Bayonetta, and the reason why I was playing half a stage of Bayonetta is like my friend who was playing it went to the restroom, and she was like, "Here, like you
Take
take
the
over
wheel."
and you take the wheel. Like try this game while I go use the
Like,
bathroom."
I
I'm like,
gotta pee. Don't
okay,
let
yeah,
me die.
sure, yeah. And then so I was playing it for
Yeah.
a little while, and now I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want to get too sucked into it because I want to play this later and really absorb it, which never happened. So yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that looks like it is it from the super chats. So I will say to everybody, if you liked today's episode, I hope you did. Please give it a thumbs up here or like it on whatever podcasting platform of choice you're currently enjoying it on, because we do stream these on like Stitcher and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the main players. So make sure you hit us up there
Heck
and let
yeah.
us know if there's anything else that we should do. Yeah. Hope you guys liked our
Yep.
show. I'll see you guys on the other side. Baku, any final thoughts?
You have an hour and 45 minutes to get those hoodies.
Too much. Okay, let's go.
Bye.